So recently, I've been seeing a lot of videos of people complaining about cinema etiquette recently, mainly with their experiences with the Backrooms movie. Apparently, a lot of people's experience with that movie has been completely ruined by annoying moviegoers. Now, when I went to go see the Backrooms movie, I didn't really have anything bad happen, other than before the movie started, there was one guy who went, hee hee, and nobody reacted. So I don't know what he was gaining from that, really. But that got me thinking about the videos that I used to do where I talked about my least favourite cinema experiences. And I thought, you know what? I've had a lot of bad experiences recently. Why not make a third part? So here are my least favourite cinema experiences. Part 3. I have 9 experiences to tell you all about. Some of them are from times where I should have talked about them in a previous video, but I didn't mention them, so I'm going to mention them. And I'm going to go from least annoying to the most annoying. Without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So the first experience, this is one I forgot to mention in a previous video, was back in 2022 when I went to go and watch a little film titled Jurassic World Dominion. I hate this movie. I hated it then, I hate it now. I'm never going to like this movie. It's easily the worst Jurassic movie. I hate it. It is an affront to God. It's just terrible. The night before I went to go and see this movie, I just had the worst sleep ever. I don't really know why. Sometimes, you just have one of those nights where you just can't sleep for no apparent reason. Well, that was one of those nights. And I had a really busy day ahead of me. I had to see this film. I had to go to my mum's. It was just a pain in the ass. So I went to this movie tired out of my mind. I just did not want to go and see it. But I thought, no, I've already booked the ticket. Don't waste your money. Just go out and see it. So I went to the cinema. I sat down. And the movie was playing, and as I mentioned, I hate this movie. I think it's so boring. It's one of the most boring blockbusters I've seen in recent years. And about halfway through the movie, the tiredness catches up with me. And I am struggling. I am fighting for my life to try and stay awake. I'm literally doing that, just trying to keep my eyes open. And I've never fallen asleep in the cinema. I've been close. And this was the closest. In fact, it was indeed the closest because there was one moment about halfway through the film where plane crashes or something. And I remember just putting my head on the back of the seat and just not remembering anything for a couple of minutes. And then suddenly this dinosaur fight's going off. I'm like, well, what's going on? And I realised that I fell asleep for about 5 minutes or so. So I missed 5 minutes of Jurassic World Dominion because I was so tired. Added on to that, the movie was so boring. And it got to a point where it became so boring and such a chore to watch this movie that I nearly walked out. I was so close to walking out and saying, look, call it wraps. I'm tired. I'm obviously not ready to watch this movie. Let's just see it another day. But I stuck it out. I managed to watch the entirety of Jurassic World Dominion, and I gained absolutely nothing from it other than 5 minutes of sleep. So thank you, Jurassic World Dominion. You made me catch up on a few minutes. And I did re-watch it just to check what happened in those 5 minutes, and nothing. Nothing happened. So yeah, a really, really tough experience. The second experience, and this is probably the funniest one of the lot, was when I went to go and see a movie called Theatre Camp. Now, I really did like this movie. And the first time I tried to watch it, I went into the cinema, the adverts, the trailers played okay, and then the movie started, and alas, there was no sound. The sound was not working. And at first I thought, oh, it's part of the movie. It's meant to be like that. But then I see two people having a conversation and think to myself, okay, something's not right here. And of course, me and the rest of the audience are just sitting in complete silence, just wondering what the heck's going on. One guy walks out, obviously, to ask the cinema employee what's going on. And he comes back in and we all ask, oh, what did it say? So they're like, oh, they're fixing the audio right now. It should be okay. And then the movie paused. So we're all just sat in this quiet, dark room. Bearing in mind, that's quite scary. You're in a room full of strangers in pretty dark terms. And you don't know what these people are going to do. That's creepy. And then a couple of minutes later, the lights turn on, and then two employees come in and say, I'm sorry, we can't get the audio working. And it wasn't just for that screening, it was for the entire cinema. The audio was just dead that day. But thankfully, everyone got a refund, and I went back the next day. Thankfully, the audio was working, and I did manage to see Theatre Camp in the end. So all's well that ends well, really. The next experience is the most recent experience, actually. It's when I went to go and see Masters of the Universe. Now, I did a review on that recently, a very controversial review, if I think it's fair to say. A lot of people really disagree with me. And I just sat down, I was watching the film, and there wasn't a lot of people in the cinema. There was two guys behind me, and there was a couple, I'm guessing, in front of me. And the film and the trailers are going on, they're talking, and I don't care if you talk through the trailers. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and chat all you want, just as long as you shut up during the movie. But they didn't shut up during the movie. And they just kept talking and talking. And then the woman went out of the screening for a minute, and then she was like talking to him, like loudly saying, "Oh, I'm just going here," and stuff. I couldn't really make out what she was going. But it got so annoying that for the second time, only in my life, I told someone to be quiet. So I got up and I just told them, "Excuse me, I'm trying to watch the movie. Can you just please be quiet?" And they were saying, "Oh," and they were saying, "Yeah, that's fine, that's okay. We'll shut up." And to their credit, they didn't talk again. So I like that. I like those people. You're very respectful. You apologise. I like you. So yeah, Masters of the Universe was annoying, but when I told them off, they were quiet, so I managed to watch the movie in peace. The next experience was when I went to go and see the re-release of The Phantom Menace the other year with my dad and a friend, and this one didn't really bother me that much because obviously I've seen The Phantom Menace many times. I knew what was going to happen. But we're just sitting there watching the movie, and there's these two guys to our right. Bearing in mind, there's three people, obviously. I'm sitting on the further end of it, so I can't really hear them that much. But I just see my friend and my dad just talking because they're like, these guys are so annoying. They just wouldn't shut up, and then they were like kicking each other, kicking their popcorn buckets. It's really annoying. And any other movie, I would have told them to shut up because it's just so disrespectful. But as I said, I've seen the movie before. I couldn't really notice it because I was on the further end of it, and I had some earplugs in because I'm sensitive to loud noises. So it didn't really bother me that much, but still, for my dad and my friend, just really, really annoying. The next experience is where we get to the really bad stuff. This is where we get to the really annoying stuff. So back in 2024, when I went to go and see Inside Out 2. Now, before I tell you, I know it's a kids' movie. I know there's going to be a lot of kids in there. I get that. And I know they can't sit still. And I know they can go crazy. But I've said many times I don't like kids. I don't get along with them. They're just not for me whatsoever. And that is why now I go and see animated movies and children's movies as a whole when they're in school hours. And if it's the holidays, I see it really early in the morning. And if by some miracle there's a really late showing of it, I'll go and see it then because I know there's not going to be a lot of kids in there. But for some reason, I went to go on a Saturday afternoon to see Inside Out 2 because I really just wanted to watch it. So I was watching the movie, and then a few rows down, there's this kid and his mother. And this guy just does not want to be here. It's obvious that the parent just took him here because he just wanted him to shut up for a couple hours. And it's not working because he's like, "Mum, I want to go, I want to go." And he keeps trying to like get up. And his mum's like holding him back, like by putting her arm like out to the side, like stopping getting him up. And she's like, not shouting, but like, "Nah," with him like really angry voice. And this kid is just not sitting still. And he's doing it throughout the entire movie. And it's so bloody distracting. But that's not the worst thing. When the movie ended, there was these two teenage boys behind us, and I was just getting my bags and everything. And then they stopped throwing popcorn at people. One of them landed on the back of my head, and then a few of them landed on the back of like older people's heads and everything. And even a kid at one point, he started crying. I'm like, what's going on? And then I was going to say something, but thankfully there was these two older guys that went up, and you can tell these kids are just the most smug, snarky teenagers ever, because these older guys are going like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing?" It's like, what I didn't do anything, do anything. But yeah, I got assaulted in the cinema. There we go, there's a story for you. So yeah, Inside Out 2, a really annoying child and two really annoying teenage boys. The next experience is from this year as well, not too long ago, is when I went to go and see Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Now, I didn't really like this film that much, but there was not a lot of people in this cinema. There was me, there was a couple in front of me, and there was this older couple on the same row, just a few seats to my left. And this was where the problem came from, because the woman was fine. She was perfectly fine, but it was the guy. He kept trying to talk to his wife/girlfriend, and it's clear that the girlfriend just wanted him to shut up because she just wasn't responding. And he would not shut up, and he's going, "Oh, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be here," and everything. And then he gets a call on his phone. Now, any sensible person, well, even before the movie starts, you put your phone on silent or put it on Do Not Disturb. This guy gets a call, takes out his phone, answers the phone call. in the cinema. And yes, he does walk out, but he's talking whilst he's walking out. And he goes right in front of me. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, ah, what, what, what makes you think you can do that? What makes you think you can do that? If that was a Pat Cinema, he'd get jumped on easily. Because that is just the most annoying thing ever. That's the first time I've seen that in a cinema where someone's answered a phone call in the cinema. So annoying. Just so disrespectful from this guy. And now we get to the big three. These are the three really, really, really bad experiences. And not surprising at all, they're all kids' movies. Two of them are animated movies. One of them is like a live action one. But the first one was when I went to go and see The Wild Robot. Brilliant film, excellent film, one of DreamWorks' best movies in ages. But my experience with this film was tainted by this really annoying young girl in front of me. There was a dad, I think there was two girls and one little boy. And it's clear as well, like the Inside Out 2 experience, where the dad just wanted them to shut up for a couple of hours. But he's doing that by giving the oldest girl, I'm guessing, an iPad. He gave her an iPad and she has the volume on full, the volume up a little bit, the brightness up to full, and she's watching videos on the iPad. Bear in mind, I am literally the row behind her. I can see everything. And it was quite a packed cinema, so it's not like I could just like go to the seats in front. I had to sit there and endure it. And it was the most annoying thing ever. And this was the time where I was so scared of confrontation. I didn't want to ask her to put the iPad away or tell her dad. So I just rolled with it. And I just tried my best to concentrate on the movie. I was even like doing that, like trying to like block like the brightness of her screen, but it just was not working. It was so annoying. And this girl had the cheat, the absolute cheat, when the movie had to go, oh, that were a really good movie, wasn't it? Bro, you weren't even watching the movie. The next experience was when I went to go and see the Super Mario Galaxy movie with my girlfriend. Now, we had a decent time. It's her first time on opening day, actually, and she had a really good time. And what tainted the experience a little bit was that there is these group of kids to my right. And as I said, older kids, like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, are the most annoying in the cinema in my eyes. And they were just talking on their phones, watching TikToks, kicking each other's seats. So annoying. And then they were like throwing popcorn at each other. What is with these kids and throwing popcorn at each other? It's just, oh, it was the most annoying. And I kept getting distracted. I could hardly focus on the movie. Tara, bless her, she was focusing on the movie very well. But here's me, who's just like, oh, just please stop, please stop, please stop. And then the last one, the very worst experience that I've had recently, was when I went to go and see Paddington in Peru. Now, I really like this movie. It's my least favourite of the Paddington films, but it's still really good. And this experience was just, I hated it. So, of course, it's a kids' movie. Why did I go and see it on a weekend? Why couldn't I just have waited? People are going back to school at this rate. I could have just seen it on a Monday or something, but no, I really wanted to see it. So I went to go and see it, and it was fine for like the first 30 minutes. I'd say it was okay. Everyone was quiet. There was a few from kids, but nothing too much. And then a few rows in front of me, there's this guy with two little boys and a baby. And first of all, why are you bringing a baby to the cinema? I've always said you can't go to the cinema unless you're like 4 years old. Why are we bringing like a 1-year-old baby? Not even that. It was just okay. And it was a recipe for disaster. And what do you know? This baby starts crying. And he walks out, fair play to him, to try and calm it down. But he leaves the two little boys. And they are just laughing, running around and everything. And the amount of times where the dad came back into the cinema and then the baby started crying again. And he did that like 4 times, I've got to say. He sat down, 1 minute in, baby cried, stepped out, kids running around. Came back in, sat down, baby cried, he walked out again. Every time he walked out, these kids are running around, screaming, like jumping on each other down at the bit where the screen is and you walk out. And they were patting the screen. They were patting the screen. It was just the most aggravating thing. Like, I'm trying to watch this movie and I'm just seeing like the bottom bit of the screen just wobbling. It's just at least with the other experiences, they're not actually tampering with the screen. Just this time they were, and it was just the most annoying experience. And it completely ruined my experience with this movie. I had to go and watch it again after just to make sure that I could fully concentrate. And I did, and I ended up enjoying it enough. So, Paddington in Peru, easily one of the worst recent cinema experiences for me. I absolutely hated that experience. It was just the worst, so annoying. If there's one thing we can definitely take away from this video, is that if you're going to watch a kids movie, don't watch it while there's a load of kids there. Go and watch it during school hours. If it's during the school holidays, watch it at a time where they're just not going to be there. It's that simple. It is just the worst and so annoying. But yeah, people, those are my least favourite cinema experiences recently. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know some of your worst cinema experiences in the comments. Have a good day, people, and see you later.